we're going to isolate this ordinary spoon inside the belly of this handkerchief. And keep in mind that the handkerchief can be borrowed, the spoon can be borrowed. The spoon is wrapped up inside the handkerchief, and the four corners of the handkerchief are given to a spectator to hold onto. While the spectator is holding on to the handkerchief, I say, look at my hand. Imagine my hand is the spoon inside the handkerchief. Now the key to this is that you must imagine as vividly and as clearly as possible. Imagine just the stem of the spoon bending a little bit, just a little bit. Now imagine it bending more. Imagine it building up momentum. It's going faster, faster, and suddenly, just like that, the spoon is bent in half. I ask them, again, I do not touch it, I ask them to slowly open the handkerchief and to spill out the spoon. And they find that their imagination was extremely effective. The key to this effect is that you bend the spoon. You bend the spoon with your left hand at a perfect time while you're covered with a handkerchief and nobody notices anything. Okay? Here's the technique. Take a spoon. Oh, one detail though you will have to do, and that is you need a spoon that isn't one of those super fancy, too firm spoons. It's got to have some give, okay? Which is why you have to choose where you're going to do this. This in a diner is perfect because diner cutlery is usually pretty bendable. Go to a fine restaurant with really heavy silverware and you're going to pretty much have a next to impossible time doing this, all right? So here's the bend. Take the spoon, lay it pretty much at the base of your fingers so that the bowl of the spoon is near your thumb and the stem is here, lying down the side. Now, the key grip is you're going to get what's called a fulcrum point, which allows you to bend the spoon super easy, like this. You curl the fingers and you position it. The fulcrum, the 2 points are the thumb is going to press against the bowl, and this part of the spoon, right down, not quite at the stem, but about half an inch or an inch from the stem, is pinned against that part of your hand, just below the pinky, all right? You'll find if your fingers are pressing along and it's pressed there, and you now press forward with your thumb, all right? If that's your grip, you'll be able to bend the spoon very easily just by pushing down with your left thumb. That's the secret action. As with a lot of performance, it's not so much about what you're going to do, but when you do it. So here's the moment. Make sure the handkerchief is examined, okay? Or the napkin. Make sure it's examined. Pick up the spoon, lay it across your hand in the exact position you need it. The fingers are here, the thumb is over here, all right? Now, as my right hand goes across it and lifts the first corner up, it's just as I'm doing that my fingers and thumb are going to bend the spoon right through the handkerchief. I just did it. Gather up the other corners and hand everything to the spectator. It only takes a second and nobody's the wiser. It just takes a second. Hand that to them, they hold on to it. Now you want to plant a time lapse, all right? So that ideally by the end of the effect, the spectators don't ever remember you even handling the spoon. The image they have is that the spoon was in the handkerchief on the table. Then they gathered it up and it went from there, okay? So you want a bit of a time lapse here. So this is where I talk about the imagination, and I have them focus my fingers, imagine the spoon, it's bending. Having done that, I ask them to lower it to the table and to open up the handkerchief, which they do, and then finally to spill out the spoon. And when people see that even though you were 3 or 4 feet away at all times, that now the spoon is bent while a spectator was holding on to that napkin, it's a total freak out.